You're 24. You just moved to New York. You have a marketing degree from a state school nobody's heard of. You have $1,200 in your account and a studio apartment in Harlem with a window that faces a brick wall. You apply to every label, every agency, every PR firm you can find. Nobody calls back. Then one Tuesday, your phone rings. Unknown number. A woman's voice. Professional. Fast. We are looking for an assistant at Bad Boy Records. Your resume was flagged. Can you be at the office tomorrow at 9 a.m.? You say yes before she finishes the sentence. That night, you iron your only good shirt. You don't sleep. The office is everything you imagined. Platinum records on every wall. The receptionist looks like a model. The music is always playing. You meet your supervisor. She's 29 and moves like she's late for three things simultaneously. Your job, logistics, car schedules, studio bookings, travel arrangements, catering orders. Your invisible infrastructure. You make sure everything happens so that everyone else can pretend it happens by magic. The pay is $38,000 a year. You take it without negotiating. First mistake. You learn fast. Which restaurants he likes, which table he prefers, which stylist he trusts, which publicist he actually listens to. You learn the rhythms of the operation, and you learn one rule about all others. Never be the reason something goes wrong. Because when something goes wrong, and something always goes wrong, someone has to answer for it. You do not want to be that person. 3 months in, you get your first real glimpse. A party at a townhouse on the Upper East Side. You're there to manage logistics, confirm the catering, brief the security, handle the guest list. The guests arrive. You recognize faces from televisions, from magazine covers, from your childhood bedroom walls. They move through the rooms like they own the air inside them. You watch from the edge. You are good at watching from the edge. This is useful. By midnight, the party is what parties like this become at midnight. Looser, louder, less careful. You see things, you file them away. You learn the second rule. What happens in these rooms stays in these rooms. This is not a suggestion, it is a condition of employment. You understand this without anyone saying it directly. You understand it from the way people look at you when you see something you weren't supposed to see. A look that says, "We see you seeing that." Act accordingly. You act accordingly. 6 months in, you get promoted. Senior Logistics Coordinator. $52,000. Your job expands. Now you're coordinating across cities. LA, Miami, Atlanta. You book private jets. You arrange hotels where entire floors are reserved. You coordinate security teams of 12 to 15 men whose job description you have learned not to ask about. You send packages. You don't ask what's in them. You coordinate NDAs. You don't read them. You arrange for certain guests to be escorted in through certain entrances. You arrange for certain situations to be handled quietly. Quietly is a word you hear constantly. Handle this quietly. Make sure this stays quiet. This needs to go away quietly. You become very good at quietly. 1 year in, you're in the room. Not the main room. Never the main room. But the room adjacent to the main room. Close enough to hear, far enough to deny. You understand your position perfectly. You are useful because you are capable. You are safe because you are silent. You are trusted because you have never given anyone a reason not to trust you. This trust is not warmth. It is a transaction. You provide silence and discretion. You receive access and income. Both sides understand the terms. Neither side discusses them. You start to see the pattern, the freak-offs. That's what they call them internally. Not parties, not events, freak-offs. You're not in these rooms, but you know what happens in them. You know because you booked the hotel. You know because you handle the cleanup. You know because certain people call you at 3 a.m. with requests that can only exist in the context of what you know is happening. You handle the requests. You don't ask questions. You have stopped asking questions. This happened gradually. In the beginning, you had questions. Now, you don't. This is not because the questions went away. It's because you learned what asking them costs. A colleague asked questions once. He was gone within a week. No confrontation, no firing. He just stopped being there. His access was revoked. His calls went unreturned. He ceased to exist in this world as if he'd never been in it. You watched this happen and you understood. The water you're swimming in only looks like water if you don't look too closely. You stop looking too closely. 2 years in, your salary is $95,000. You have an apartment in Midtown now. You have clothes that didn't come from a sale rack. You have a name that opens doors in this industry. You are someone. Not publicly. You will never be publicly someone. But in the rooms that matter, people know your name. People know you get things done. People know you are quiet. This is its own kind of currency. But it costs something. You notice it in small ways at first. You stop telling your friends what you do at work. Not because it's confidential, because you can't explain it without explaining things you cannot explain. You stop calling your parents as much. Your mother asks how the job is going. You say, fine. She hears something in fine. She doesn't ask again. 3 years in, the first rumors break publicly. A lawsuit filed in federal court. The details are specific in ways that match things you've seen, things you've handled, things you've been quiet about. You read the lawsuit 3 times. You close your laptop. You sit in your apartment for a long time. You are not mentioned. You are not named. But you are present in the document in the way that ghosts are present, in the shape of things that happened but have no visible author. You handle those things. Your hands are in the negative space of every paragraph. The federal investigation starts. Agents begin contacting former employees. You get a call from a lawyer you've never met. He says he represents your interests. You don't remember hiring him. He says you don't need to worry. He says you just need to stay quiet. He says this like quiet is still a choice you're making freely. It isn't. You stay quiet. September 2024. Federal agents raid the homes, the handcuffs, the baby oils, the cameras, the footage on every news channel. You watch it on your phone in your Midtown apartment. The apartment you could only afford because of this job. The career you built in the shadow of this organization. The silence you maintained for 3 years. Your phone starts ringing. Friends, family, journalists, numbers you don't recognize. You don't answer. You sit in the quiet you perfected, the quiet that protected you, the quiet that implicated you, the quiet that you chose and then stopped being able to unchoose. Here's what nobody tells you about working close to power. The access feels like approval. The money feels like validation. The silence feels like professionalism. And by the time you understand what you've actually been doing, by the time you clearly see what you were part of, you are already inside it. Your name is in the emails. Your number is in the phones. Your hands are in the logistics of things you told yourself you didn't need to understand. You were never in the room, but you built the room. You booked the room. You made sure the room was quiet. And quiet, it turns out, is not the same as clean.